an emergency lawyer up with Lisa Lanier.
Emergency.
She's our official attorney of this program. The story is from England, from a woman who is asking for any help. She says, my partner ordered a set of clothes for my birthday 3 weeks ago, the total value of which is in excess of £200, which is approaching $300 U.S.
Do we know the nature of the garments? Workout?
Workout. Yes, they
Okay.
are. Workout clothes.
So not for socializing or work.
Nope, workout clothes. And she says, it's a lot of clothing as I've recently dropped a lot of weight. So I needed some new clothes to work out in.
This is your dream, right, Kelly?
I think that's why I was drawn to the story. I looked at it and thought, okay, I
New spandex?
want to help this woman. Yeah, she got some new spandex.
All right.
She says, I was really excited to receive the parcel, but it never arrived. I raised the issue with the delivery company, DHL, big in Europe. They confirmed the parcel was delivered. I then inquired with the building concierge, who takes, I guess, the packages to the doors of the people who live in the apartment complex. He confirmed, yes, parcel was delivered. A week had passed, and still no one knew where my package with the clothing was. I then went into the communal gym at the apartment complex and noticed a lady wearing one of the exact sets of clothes that were ordered for me. And I noticed she was struggling getting into a pair of joggers, which were clearly too tight. I've lost almost 40 pounds. I'm size XXS.
Are joggers pants?
Pants, yeah, I think that's what those are. I decided to press this issue further with the head concierge and requested video footage of the package being delivered and picked up. We found that the lady who lives in our block of flats, as expected, is the same person that I saw in the gym wearing my clothes that my partner had ordered for me. We organized a meeting between the concierge, myself, and this lady. She didn't even hide the fact that she took the package and opened it and said she thought it was meant for her and did not offer to give the clothes back. We look nothing alike. She's wearing my clothes. I asked her to pay me the value of the clothes since she has been wearing them now for a couple of weeks. After a scream show of blaming each other, she marched out and said, the concierge gave me the parcel. Take it up with him. Concierge is the guy. He accidentally gave it to her. That's all there is to it. But she knew it wasn't her. She took the clothes, and now she says, there's nothing I can do. She's taking my clothing. And she's wanting...
Call the cops.
Wants the clothes back.
Call Bobby.
I don't think that would work. That's what I'm saying. I mean, how can she prove that the clothing had her name and address on there? You know, how can that be proven?
The actual addressee?
The actual addressee, the person. She's saying there's nothing that can be done. So she says, my question is, who should I claim money from? DHL, the concierge, or the woman? Who's going to pay me back here for this money? She's ready to order new clothes, but who's going to give her the money? Lisa Lanier is on. Now, this is from other countries. This is from Europe, but let's see what would happen here in the U.S. or in Europe. Lisa, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm fantastic. This happens all the time, because, of course, online ordering is at an all-time high. Happened to me recently. I ordered 4 bottles of rare bourbon to be delivered to one of the lawyers that works with me, and they misdelivered it. He's a big bourbon drinker, so, great Christmas gift, right? Great Christmas gift.
Well, Dave perked up when you said bourbon.
Yeah.
Let me just say that.
Can I come work for you, Lisa?
This is stuff you can't get around here, right? You cannot get this locally. This is really good stuff.
Wow.
He got misdelivered, too, because I sent it to him at the office, in your law group, and then, but there's, he's in one of our offices, in Raleigh, and it got delivered to another law office in the same building. And we found that out by, going back to the company, and they immediately and this was a fair amount of expense to them. They immediately just replaced it. 4 new bottles.
Really?
To Bobby. Yep. Because it's, it's between you. So in the U.S. anyway, the purchase agreement that you make with, the vendor, that's between you and them. And if they don't get it to you, then they owe you a replacement. But they actually then, if they can figure out who received the misdelivered goods, then they have recourse, against them. In the UK, it's really interesting. They have a 6-year window where if the mistaken goods are not claimed in 6 years, you may keep them. And there's even a procedure. You have to make 2 attempts to let the person know that you got the mistaken goods,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have 6 years to reclaim them. And you also, in that 6 years in the UK, you have the right to sell the goods. You're not required to hold them or store them, but you have to hold that money for the 6 years for them to claim it. And when researching this, I came across, I sent you a picture of it. This young man, Amazon mistakenly sent him almost $5,000 worth of stuff, and he followed the protocol. He contacted them, and they said, you know what, that's really honest of you. You just keep that stuff. It was all brand new, like electronics. He got a big, giant television. He got a tablet, a laptop. He got all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, really lucky guy.
I mean, Amazon, they make so much money. They just let you keep it. If you want.
Some friends of ours told us that story, similar stories at the beach a couple years ago. They said that they would get mistaken packages, and they'd let Amazon know this, and just keep it.
Yeah, just keep it. Amazon doesn't care, apparently.
No, they don't care.
So in this particular case, to me, who's at fault here is the concierge. Well, and the woman who kept the clothes. She knew good and well it wasn't
DHL
her.
did their job.
Yeah, DHL delivered, right. DHL delivered, and whoever they ordered from got it done also. So who do you think is, eventually, is the woman going to have to give up the money and the clothing after they go through all of this, Lisa, do you think?
No, because, this is the thing with these sort of smaller mail order, online order. They're just not big enough. There's not enough. Now, if it were a big item, a diamond ring or something, then you see prosecution. In fact, it's like here in the States, like in North Carolina where I am, it's actually considered a larceny. And depending on the value, if you keep something that was delivered to you, it wasn't yours. It's either, if it's under $1,000 in value, it's a misdemeanor larceny. But if it's over $1,000 in value, it's a felony.
Yeah.
And it's serious, and people get prosecuted for it here. So really where you get into trouble is where you keep these big ticket items. That's a problem.
I don't like what this woman's done. Plus, she's flaunting herself in front of everybody.
She's trying to squeeze in.
Yeah, she's squeezing into these joggers that are cutting her circulation off. And then the woman who said, that's my joggers. That's my pants right there. That's really upsetting.
Knock to privet, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But the seller should make that right with that woman that lost her jogger.
Well, I guess that's what's going to happen. But I blame this lady who's now, yes.
Well, what about this dopey concierge that can't read?
He's bad, too.
He's bad. They're crooked.
Well, I thought of Biggie on this because Biggie is constantly getting things delivered, and sometimes they go to the wrong address.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Wrong door.
Yeah, wrong door.
Let me ask this. What if it's your address but a different name?
Can you keep it?
I mean, it's your exact
If you didn't
address.
order it, if you didn't order it and it's not yours, it's still, you still have an obligation to try and return it. And you're not, the interesting is, like when you get something that has a neighbor's name and address on it, the protocol is actually supposed to be always address it with the seller. You don't need to go trying to find the neighbor or whatever. And that's nice if you do, but the obligation is just to contact the seller, contact Amazon.
We had an email fairly recently, similar story, where a neighbor, they got a package that was supposed to be delivered to their neighbor and accidentally opened it. It was a sex toy. So then they had to take, so they had to retape it up and take it over to the neighbor and say, sorry, we opened this, and here's your...
But we didn't try it.
Your sex toy.
All right, it's not used.
Right. But they did take it over. There's another story today. This is sort of similar also. A guy in San Francisco, his name is Troy Farrell. He lost his cat last fall. Nubbins disappeared. It was his cat. And a month later, he got a call from a vet in Los Angeles. He lives in San Francisco. And the vet said, we've got the microchip we got your cat down here at our vet's office. He's been microchipped. It is definitely Nubbins, but the vet's office said, for legal reasons, we can't send Nubbins to you or even give you the names of the people that brought her in. So they have no choice. The vets have no choice but to give Nubbins back to the person who brought her in. What has happened is a couple was staying in San Francisco at an Airbnb in this guy's neighborhood, saw the cat, thought it was a stray, took it back to L.A., and now he says he has no legal recourse and he misses his cat. Now, usually... with pets like this, of course, we know the value of the pet is not much, unfortunately.
Yeah. Monetarily,
but of course, he has become really attached to Nubbins. He says Nubbins was at first like the neighborhood cat. It was a stray, but he took it in, fed it, lived with him, but it was an outdoor cat. And this couple just assumed it was a stray and took it back to L.A. with them. What do you think here, Lisa? What can he do? He wants his cat back.
Well, it presents an ethical dilemma for veterinarians, and it's actually something that they teach whole sections on the ethics of dealing with this situation and with microchips. it apparently happens all the time that vets are dealing with this customer and the customer's pet, and they figure out that there's actually a microchip showing that the pet belongs to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear under all the veterinary guidelines, their professional responsibility, they have a confidentiality relationship with that pet owner. And it's just like with your doctor, you can't breach that. And so this vet actually should not have even called that microchip owner if they thought it was not the same person that they were dealing with. You're not even supposed to reach out to them.
Really?
But then I think the vet figured out, oopsie, I got the wrong person here, or whatever. And then that's when the vet started backpedaling and saying, "Oh, I can't tell you anything more."
Mm-hmm.
But really, they're not even supposed to reach out, because the vet is not a pet detective, right? It's not their job to figure out ownership. They're not the legal race.
I understand. But if somebody has microchipped their pet, they're the owner. I mean, they had the pet.
Well, not necessarily, because then they get into being the arbitrator of some legal dispute. Did the person buy this pet and it was chipped, or was the pet chipped and then surrendered to a pound or something? And then so you just don't know, and it's not the vet's responsibility. But legally, the true owner, if they can prove ownership, it's their pet, right? And they get it back. The problem is, how you can prove that you own this stray cat? Because it turns out, the cat in San Francisco at the Airbnb was actually the neighborhood stray.
Yeah.
And it roamed around. Everybody took care of it. And this one guy took a liking to it and took it in and claimed it as his own.
Yes.
But how's he going to prove that's his cat?
Right. So he can't. And he says heartbroken because Nubbins is now 600 miles away.
I got pictures on my phone of the cat.
I got pictures right here. This is my cat. But he can't even find Nubbins because this vet, I would drive to this vet's office and say, "You give me Nubbins."
Stand out there until Nubbins comes out.
I would protest it and stand there until Nubbins.
You'll get Nubbins and like it.
or what you do, instead of being so, what's the word, aggressive,
belligerent,
you just set up shop across the street with a sign. Free Nubbins.
Free Nubbins. That's what
that
you
will
need.
get attention.
That's
Free
right.
Nubbins. There you go. Protest.
Cardboard sign.
I like that.
Free Nubbins.
I want a sign that says Free Nubbins. That's exactly what I want.
Although people might think it's something else.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard people call their third nipple a
You
nubbin.
could go either way.
Did you hear
like
that?
man's nipples.
Yeah, a third man's nipple is a nubbin. That's what they always call it. I wish I had one of those.
Well, maybe one day.
This really took a turn.
I think
you can dream.
you got more than you can handle. Sorry, Lisa.
Maybe you're right.
You got two hands.
Maybe you're right.
The way they bleed and chafe, you don't need third.
I was lunching with a colleague recently. He'd heard me saying how sensitive my nipples are, and I don't want to say
who had the cheeseburger.
He said, I really commiserate with you because my nipples are very sensitive as well. I said, So we started chatting about nipples there for a while. It was
nice.
A little bit awkward to start. It was right at the beginning of the meal, too. Lisa Lanier, this is not even your day. You're not even supposed to be here. And you went inside a couple of legal cases here, which I don't like the way either one of them came out, but that's just the way it is. That's the law, right? That's
Nubbins and joggers.
That's it. Podcast idea, Nubbins and joggers. That's what I want it to be.
And overpriced bourbon.
That's right.
There you go.
And Lisa, next time you're in here in person, how about a little something, a little bourbon for the man?
Yeah,
here.
a little breakfast. I'll bring the water.
A little breakfast bourbon.
Okay. All right.
That's right, Grandpa.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate it as always. Have a great week.
Have a great day.
We'll talk to you later. She'll be back on Friday for Lawyer Up in the third hour of this program. It's funny you mentioned protests. There is, a lot of times you hear protests and chants, and sometimes Chris Demm and I say when they're on the news, you can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
But there is a group of students that are protesting. This is in California. Students K through 8 at Vacaville, California Elementary School are protesting because chocolate milk was removed from their school menu. The principal and the school district has said it's too sugary. You no longer get chocolate milk. But after a week of protests, they've relented, and they're putting chocolate milk.
The people have spoken.
The people have spoken. This is a little news on the story.
What do we want? Chocolate milk! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Chocolate milk! When do we want it? Now!
Back when we had chocolate milk, when I was in 4th grade, you would be lucky to get a spot to get some chocolate milk because it would all be gone.
Chocolate milk, we have a lot of sugar in there, and too much sugar Is that really what our body needs?
That is one of the students that was against chocolate milk coming back. So it split the student body.
Was he hanging off one of the recess poles by his underpants?
Yeah, they got him.
Is that really what you're... Hey.
The unhappy children walked out of school last Monday carrying signs and chanting, you heard, what do we want? Chocolate milk. When do we want it?
That was one of the cleanest,
Yeah, it was
most
clean.
concise protest chants I've ever heard.
I agree. They got it together beautifully.
Kids are used to working together.
School administrators got together with the students for an exchange, and they said, look, we're just not giving on this.
We're going to continue to pants this kid.
That's right.
Every day.
Every single day.
Atomic wedgies,
Wedgies, swirlies, you name it.
We want our chocolate milk.
pink bellies,
And they got
Wet
it.
willies,
noogies.
purple nurples.
The administrator says your health is important, and sugar, there's too much sugar in chocolate milk.
What do we want?
Chocolate milk.
When do we want it?
Right now. And parents said, but give them their chocolate milk.
Give them the milk.
Just give them the
It's a
milk.
little pint.
We don't
It's not even a
care.
pint.
Just give them the milk. How much more? I don't know about milk. I didn't love chocolate milk even when we were in school. You liked it.
It was the best.
You liked
Yeah, I
it.
love
Chocolate milk at school?
Oh,
The
yeah.
best.
We had it. I drank some of it. I never liked the white milk. I never drank milk of either kind, really. But how much more sugar is in chocolate milk? Is it that much
tell
worse
you.
for you? I don't know anything about it. But
I mean, milk has sugar in it too, doesn't it?
I think so.
To an
Yeah.
extent.
Not great for you either, really, is it?
No.
Milk.
We had orange
Well,
juice
for
too.
growing bones.
Well, it helps you with your calcium. We just heard vitamin D is very, very important just this week.
Bring an extra quarter, you get an extra half pint.
Is that
back
how
in
you
my
used to do it?
If you wanted two of them,
you get
I
extra
could drink two.
with a
Two
quar-
milks?
Yeah.
for a quarter. You get an extra
Quarter.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Yep.
pretty good.
Huh.
My son. This is about protests and kids who will always go the extra mile. Like you heard those kids really going out of their way to get their chocolate milk back. Yesterday, my son, who is 16, this is his mentality.
Did he take a stand?
Well, he did. This week, our neighbors are out of town, so it was his job and my daughter's job to get their mail, feed their cat, and roll their garbage cans in and out. In fact, they're gone for like 10 days, so it's in and out of the...
Maybe 2 cycles?
Right.
It's good money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a good job.
So yesterday, he was on his way home from school, and my wife had called him to say before he left school, make sure you just stop at their house and roll their cans back in. Yesterday was garbage day, and they're going back back
Right.
to their garage. And so he said, all right. So he comes in the house. We knew he hadn't done it. And
How do you know?
Well, she saw him like peel around it was right across the street. She saw him peel. And so he walked in, and she goes, did you move their cans back? And he goes, no, man, it's too cold.
Well, it was kind of a raw day.
It was a raw day.
Yes.
But we said, yes, but it has to be done. I mean, you can't wait another, you get in, people look at you funny if they're sitting out there
They
48 hours.
And you're getting paid.
And I said, and you're getting paid. And he goes, nah, playa. I can't. He's like, it's too raw, it's too damp. It was a misty, right then there was.
Take a chill.
And he goes, it's too chilly. And I said, but it's not going to get any warmer. This is it. It's like 5 o'clock. It's like, this is it. Go do it. Go do
We
it.
bought you hats and coats.
Exactly. He goes, I'll do it later. I said, no, sir. You've got to do it now. And he goes, but it's wet and cold out there. And his final plea to us was, and let me get this exactly right. He said, let me see the exact.
Did you write this down?
Yeah, I wrote it down. He goes,
It was so good.
he goes, come on, dog. A pimp got to stay warm and dry.